don't just go to any group of people and take our police dogs, especially the brand new ones. Jax is brand new. We've only had him about 3 months. And I'll bring him out here and explain to you what he does for us on a day-to-day basis. But I've been working here with the pastor for a while, and he asked me as a favor to come out and bring out the dog, and thought that you guys would kind of be interested in learning about what the police dogs do for us out here in Oxnard. I generally don't wear this outfit every day. I kind of have 3 different uniforms I wear, but the last couple of days we've been out trying to track down a real bad guy. So because of the type of things that we've been doing, I get to wear this type of get up today. I usually wear a regular uniform, just like the other officers, but my uniform's all black. Have you guys seen any other police dogs that we have?
Yeah.
Which ones? Remember any? Does anybody remember any names? Which one?
It has no tail?
No, that's Ike. Ike's retired now. We've only had 1 dog with no tail, and that was Ike. Anybody else?
Cody?
Cody just retired. Actually, Jax just took Cody's place. The senior that was working Cody promoted to sergeant, and Cody was kind of getting up there in years where it wasn't worth for me to take Cody, because normally if Cody was still able to work 2 or more years, then I would have took Cody from him, and I would have started working Cody. But since he didn't have more than a year left, we decided to retire him, so now he's lived the retired life. Cody, so when you mentioned Cody, Cody was a German Shepherd. And when you guys see Jax, when I bring him out, you're going to think he's a skinny German Shepherd, but he's not a German Shepherd. He's a different breed. He's what we call a Belgian Malinois. Now, when I bring him out here, you guys, I just ask that you guys just kind of sit quiet and calm, because he is new and he's very young and he's still learning the job. He's about 17 months old, so he's pretty young.
You guys have to stay quiet.
So he's 8?
See how he's like, oh, I don't know what you guys are the only second group of kids that have seen Jax. See, it's off, live, off. Right now what he's expecting to do is back, off, live. This is like I said, this is the second presentations we've done. We have not been to any schools to do any demonstrations. So when he comes out of the car, he's expected to work right now, because he hasn't figured out, oh, this is just a presentation, we're gonna do some show and tell with the kids and whatnot. So he's expecting me right now to give him some type of command to look for somebody, or look for something. Jax, move back. See, it's off. What I might do is put him back in the car, then I'll bring him back out in a minute. Jax, how many of you think Jax was born here in Oxnard?
Huh?
Nobody?
How old is he in Oxnard?
Back, off.
He's 17.
Jax wasn't born here in Oxnard. He wasn't even born in California. He was born in another country. He came from the country of Holland. And
He's sad.
he wants to work. He thinks I'm gonna have to do something right now. Right. He was flown over on an airplane once he got here.
He's sad.
Sad. Akin? Tingnan mo? Basta? Okay? Doon talaga? Alas 4?
That way you guys can still see him. Back. Off. drive it. Like I said, he's all excited because normally when I get him out of the car, he thinks he's going to do something. He doesn't realize we're just here to do a presentation. And as he gets older and as we work more, he'll start to calm down and realize, oh, this is more fun, this is more playtime. But like I said, he came from Holland. We went to school for 6 weeks once he got here. And we went to school for 10 hours a day for 6 weeks straight. And that's where he was taught to be a police dog. When I got Jax, he had no training at all. He didn't know how to sit. He didn't know how to lay down. He didn't stay. He absolutely did nothing. So we had to put him through a bunch of tests to find out if he's going to be able to do police work for us. And we check things like, we have 3 drives in the dog. It's called play drive, pray drive, and defense drive. What do you guys think the play drive is, right? Play? He's got to want to play. He's want to have fun. How many of us seen dogs chase a cat, right? We know dogs chase cats. Well, we got to make sure that Jax has that prey drive to want to chase not cats, but chase bad guys. So we call that the prey drive of the dog. If the dog won't chase a cat or a rabbit, he's not going to chase a bad guy. So those are things that we need to make sure that he'll do. The first thing he's taught when we go to school is he's taught to be a good listener. He's taught obedience. And that's where he's taught to listen to me and pay attention to what I'm telling him. To lay down, to sit, and stay, and all that. Once he's learned the foundation of the obedience, then we move on to harder things. We start teaching him how to jump over walls, go through tunnels, things like that. That's what we call the obstacle course. And most importantly, what do you think? You know, the dogs have real long legs so they can run fast, right? They got big ears so they can hear things. They got teeth, big teeth. They got a big nose. Out of all those things, what do you think the most important thing on the dog? What I use the most on that dog? What do you think?
The scent, smell.
The smell, the scent, the smell. His nose. His nose is the most important thing to us. We use his nose more than we use his eyes. If we go in a pitch dark building and we're trying to find somebody hiding from us, he's not using his eyes, he's using his nose to find the people that are hiding from us. So his nose is really important. So we start teaching him how to use his nose. What else do you think we use his nose for?
Find weapons.
Oh, you don't get the answer no more. She has all the answers. Find drugs. We all know drugs are bad. Drugs make you do silly things when you use them. Drugs make you use make bad decisions and whatnot. Yes. Find what? Beer. No, he doesn't find beer. I wish he did, but no, he doesn't find beer. But we have him find drugs because we want to keep drugs off the street. She had mentioned that he finds evidence in guns and things like that. And a good example is you have a bad guy that goes into a bank, he robs his bank, he takes off running, and he's trying to get away from the police. And he runs across the field and he throws his gun out in that field somewhere so that we can't find it. It's important that we find that gun because guns are dangerous and we don't want them to hurt anybody. So what we would do is we'll bring Jax out. Again, we're going to use his nose. And I'm going to give Jax his command. Most of his commands are in Dutch. That's the language that we speak to him. It's not because I'm trying to trick anybody and I don't want anybody to know what I'm saying to him. It's because he was born in the country of Holland, and the primary language in Holland is Dutch or Flemish Dutch. So most of his commands are in Dutch. Some of them are in English. Like when I want him to go to the car, I just tell him car. And he goes to the car. So I don't use whatever Dutch command it is. Once we teach him, we start teaching him to learn to find the drugs. He's searching for the toy. When he's got a toy, he loves his toy. So when he finds something, he'll scratch. If there's like drugs hidden in a drawer or in the car, he's going to scratch wherever the drugs are. And I give him his ball, I give him his toy, and that's what he works for. So it's all fun to him. We train every Wednesday is a school day for all the police dogs. We have 4 police dogs. anybody tell me any of the current. We have 2 new dogs. Jax is one of them, and there's one other dog that was flown over on the same airplane as Jax, and his name is Bear. And when you see him, he kind of looks like a bear. He's kind of, yeah, poopy and reddish. He looks like a big Care Bear. So, and he's a real good dog too. And then we have Indy. Live. See, I gotta keep watching him because he keeps looking out the window like he wants to come out here. And I'll bring it back out. Get in the back. Live. So we have Jax, we have Bear, we have Indy, and then we have Koa. Jax is what they call a Belgian Malinois. He's not a German Shepherd. And the country that he came from, in Belgium, Holland, parts of Europe, they use those type of dogs to herd cattle and herd sheep. So farmers use them to help herd their cattle because these dogs like to work. Once we found out these dogs like to work so much, we decided to start using them as police dogs. They're really smart, they have good nose, and they're very athletic. A little bit more athletic than the German Shepherds. And they work a little bit longer. That's why we kind of went to this dog. Before I keep going on, do anybody have any questions before I... No one has any questions? Yes?
Is it true that dogs are colorblind?
I'm sorry?
Is it true that dogs are colorblind?
He's got a really good question, and he asked, is it true that dogs are colorblind? Absolutely, dogs are colorblind. If I put you in all black clothing, and I put you up against a wall that's all solid black, he doesn't need to see you, he smells for you. So the dog always uses his nose. Back. Right. Off. So that's a good question. Yes, young lady.
Daddy.
That's a good question, but she asked if it was true that we feed the dogs drugs.
Feed the
Well,
dogs
I think I know what she's. I know what she's asking.
steroids.
Somebody else asked me this week ago, is it true that we let the dogs sniff the drugs and that they get addicted to the drugs? But that's not true. And that's just kind of some story somebody made up a long time ago. Life, get in the back. Let's talk about the dog. What we do is we'll take the dog's toy, or we'll start out with a towel and we'll wrap it up. You see a dog play a tug of war with a towel? Well, what we'll do is we can take that towel, we roll it up, and we can put it in a container and let it sit in there with like, we'll start out with like marijuana. How many of us have been around somebody that smokes? And they're not smoking, but you can smell the cigarettes on them because the odor of the cigarettes is on them. The kind of the same thing that happens from putting the dog's toy in with the marijuana, you take it out, now that towel, that toy, smells like marijuana, we start playing with it. We start throwing it forward, we start playing with it, and he's making that association. He makes that association that, oh, this is what my toy smells like. It smells like this odor. So he starts making that association. So when I have him go and search for drugs and he finds it, I give him his toy. And that's his pay. He works for that toy. So, but no, the dogs, we don't let the dogs use drugs, and we don't let the dogs sniff right on top of the drugs. They don't get addicted to drugs. We don't do anything that would harm them. But that's a really good question. Who else has a question? I know you're all curious. No? All right, I'll bring him out and get one.
So have you ever shot people before?
It had nothing to do with the dog.
We're not going to talk about that. We're talking about the dog stuff. I like to talk about the fun stuff. The fun part of my job, not so much the sad part of the job or the stressful part of the job. Yes, young lady.
Has a dog ever attacked somebody before?
Jax, I guess, has he ever caught anybody before? Yeah. He's caught people hiding from us before. Jax, I didn't tell you, Jax is my third dog. I've had 3 police dogs, and I've worked dogs for about 12 years.
How many people did he catch?
Well, it depends on which dog. My first dog caught a lot of people. The last dog didn't catch that many, and Jax is brand new. He's only been working 2 months. So far he's only caught 1 guy that was hiding. We've got guys hiding in trash cans. We have guys hide all the time from us, so we use Jack's nose to find people hiding from us. Any more? No? I'm gonna see if I can get his toy out. Usually I have a ball. He loves a toy. And he'll do anything for it.
Siéntate.
So, Jess, follow.
Siéntate.
Sit.
Hey.
Up. Leave it. Leave it. Jax. Leave it.
I think he wants to play with it.
Leave it. Back. See it. See, he's still learning. This is all new to him. But you see, he went from playing all crazy to all of a sudden he had to snap to and listen to me. For what I'm doing, because he's got to pay attention to what he's doing. See, he's still a kid. Oh,
Good boy.
follow. Sit. Off. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. He wants a toy. But when he let go of it, when I told him to let go of it, he sat. When I told him to sit, off. Off means to lay down. It's almost like turn the switch off, but it's AFFE. Off. Live. Yeah. And he brings it back to me because he wants to keep playing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's pretty strong.
He's in my door.
Good boy. He's real playful. Come here, follow. Car. Go. Leave it. But he's really young. He's only 17 months old. So that's really young for him, and he's got a lot of energy. So for me, it's like having another young kid that I got to chase around the house all the time. And Jax goes home with me every day. He lives at home with me. So when I work, Jax works. I work 10 hours a day. Jack works 10 hours a day. She asked what happens if Jax attacks a policeman. He doesn't. We train around all the other officers, and they know what we call uniform recognition. So he knows the difference between the other police officers and the bad guys. Another good question. She asked is Jax ever trying to bite me to try to get his toy? He did when he and I were in school together, and he was still learning, and he's figuring out all the boundaries, what's his, what's mine, when I tell him to let go of something. And he didn't really do it on purpose. He just wanted to get his toy. So yeah, he's bit me before trying to get his toy, but not really on purpose.
Did he hurt?
Yeah, it kind of hurts. See all these marks on my hands. But this is from having 3 dogs for 12 years. So, do you want to ask a question? Not that I know of, but I'm sure it happens.
He's really 8 in human years?
So yeah, it's close. And I don't know, he asked if the dog's really 8 in human years. And I guess that's kind of the chart that they use. What is it, 7 years for every 1 year or something like that? And I don't know how much truth there is to it. My first dog lived till he's about 15. He worked here in Oxnard for 8.5 years. And that was my dog Levi. And that's a long time. That's the longest any of our dogs ever worked, was 8.5 years. And it all depends on, just like us, if we don't get hurt or we don't get real sick, we can work a lot longer. Did you have a question? Good question. He asked if the dog could jump over a car, and yes, that dog could jump over a car. He's very athletic. Like that wall right there is like, that'd be nothing for him to jump over. Sometimes what we do is we dress up another officer in what we call the bite suit. He looks like a big, you know that toy that I have up on the roof? It's a suit made out of that material that they put on. He looks like a big toy. And we'll put what we call the decoy or the agitator on the other side of the wall or the car, and then we'll send the dog will jump over it and bite onto the toy.
I have a question. Are you gonna put that suit on?
No. I don't put this. I put the suit on for other police dogs, but I don't put the suit on for my dog because I have to work the dog. That way he listens to me and my commands. So, anybody else? And then what? It just depends on the dog. My first dog lived 15 years. My second dog is actually, I have another dog at home that lives with my older daughter. I have a 21-year-old daughter. So my last dog, I had Rico, and Rico's about 7 or 8 years old. And what happened was, I had promoted, and they didn't fill my position, so they asked me if I wanted to keep Rico. And he was only, at the time, he was probably only about 4 or 5 years old. So I kept him. And then when I got Jax, I let her have Rico. So, anybody else? Him and then you, because he hasn't asked. What's up, little man?
Did some of your dogs die?
One of them did. He just got old and had to go to dog heaven. So that's what happens. That's what happens to all of us.
So
The pastor will tell you all about it, I'm sure.
when a dog retires, where do you see
He asks when the dog retires, we keep them. Like when the dog's retired, the officer gets to, we actually buy the dog for $1 from the city, and we keep them, and then they're like part of the family anyway. Like Jax, he plays, I have kids at home, and he plays with my kids, and you know, on his days off, he tries to relax. So, yes. Huh? My retired dog, not him. Well, when they retire the dog, we are allowed to buy the dog for $1. So it's just a way of releasing the city of liability, because nobody else can really work the dog. He's older, and everybody wants to keep their dog. So Jax, we paid about $10,000 for